so this is my video for Chapter 4, Lesson 2, where our goal is to multiply a fraction by a whole number. Now, one important thing to remember before we start digging into this is I always want to get my answer into simplest form. So I'm either looking to have a mixed number or a proper fraction. And the other thing, a whole number. A whole number will always have a denominator of 1. So if it's just standing by itself, my suggestion would be to put it over 1, make that denominator 1, only if it's a whole number. And then we just simply multiply the numerators by each other, and then the denominators by each other, and then we simplify it. So let's go ahead and do that. 3 times 4 is 12. 5 times 1 is 5. Now, that is an improper fraction because my numerator is greater than my denominator. So now I need to turn it into a mixed fraction. So in order to turn it into a mixed fraction, and you think, well, how many times can 5 go into 12 without going over 12? Well, 5 can only go into 12 twice. And if I did 5 times 2, I would get 10. And then I would have a remainder of 2 because the difference between 10 and 2 is 2. Or 10 and 12 is 2. So my remainder here is 2. And my denominator stays the same. So my answer is 2 2/5. Now I always want to check to make sure I have the correct mixed number. So in order to check, the algorithm is multiply, add, denominator stays the same. So denominator stays the same. Multiply. 5 times 2 is 10, plus the 2 is 12. Now these two fractions are the same, but this is the one in simplest form. So that's my answer. Alright, let's try number 2. 1/4 times 5. Now remember what I said about whole numbers. They're always over 1. So if you ever see a whole number and you're multiplying it by a fraction, put it over 1. Go ahead and multiply numerators by each other. 1 times 5 is 5. 4 times 1 is 4. Again, that's improper because 5 is greater than 4. So I need to think, well, how many times can 4 go into 5? It can only go in once. And I would have a 1 as a remainder. My denominator stays the same. To check, denominator stays the same. Multiply. 4 times 1 is 4. Add. 4 times 1 is 4, plus 1 is 5. Good, so I have this fraction and this fraction, which are the same. So it's correct, but that's the one in simplest form, 1 1/4. Number 3, always put it over 1. Multiply, numerator times numerator. Denominator times denominator. Is it in simplest form? It's not, because my numerator is greater than my denominator. So I have to turn it into a mixed number. 2 can go into 3 only one time. I would have 1 left over. Denominator stays the same. So 1 1/2. Check. Denominator stays the same. Again, the algorithm is multiply and add. So multiply, 2 times 1 is 2, plus 1 is 3. So these two fractions match, so that's good, but this is the one in simplest form. Hopefully, by going over these two problems, you got the goal of multiplying a fraction by a whole number.